Hello, everybody. Welcome again. My name is Aiden, and thank you for joining the IT channel. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and install Server 2022 on Intel NUC. And we're going to get all the drivers, so this will work fine for you. And we can also go through how to basically utilize it as a desktop if you choose to do so. This is the cool video. I really am excited to do it. Let's get started. So this is where the result we're gonna focus on. So if you look at here right now, I am on another NUC device. I have two of this, and I'm gonna show you what we're trying to achieve from this video. So that way you kind of see the expectation. We wanted to, let me close everything. So immediately you're gonna see that this is running server 2022, and you can get to that by going to type in WinVer on the search, just like this, and then that will give you what OS you're running. I'm running server 2022. If you want to find out whether this is Intel NUC, maybe you have some doubts, you can just go to File Explorer, right click this PC, and go to the properties, and you can see this is Intel NUC 12th gen. That's what is going on. And I have the NUC sitting over there, and it currently has 32 gigabyte of RAM. It's got the 12th gen i7 processor. It's really good. It can do pretty much everything, and you can see confirmation that it's running server 2022 data center utilized for that. And then you can see that I got the driver for the Ethernet adapter, and I also got like the wireless too. So that's pretty much what we got. So this thing is pretty solid, pretty good. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna mimic the same thing on another server, brand new one that I'm going to build, and we're gonna achieve the same thing. Now I will tell you this, it wasn't easy to compile, get all the drivers, because Intel makes it a witch hunt where you have to hunt for all the drivers, and mainly because this is not designed for server OS, and that's why Intel doesn't just give you the driver. You have to do some work for it. But the point is, if you do the little work, you'll get it. And in fact, under my downloads, you can see here all the drivers I had to download previously for my other Intel NUC, and I'm going to show you in the video all the driver, what they do. So immediately your network Ethernet one you're concerned about is going to be, it's going to be over here. Let me see if it actually showed up over here. It's going to be the LAN one over here. So that's your LAN one. Sorry, it's going to be here, the LAN one. And so, and then you also got other things. So, but here is this, the LAN one. This is your Ethernet one, and you got other things. So anyways, let's get to the video and let's get this done. So I'm going to switch to another computer. I'll be right back. So now this is my other Intel NUC device, and this is running Windows 11 natively, and it works great. But this one is the one that I have the most specs on here, and I have pretty much, I'm running, if you look at here, the properties again, you can see I'm running pretty much all the same processor, but I have 64 gig of memory, and this is where I'm gonna try to do host most of my VMs over here. I already tried to do some VirtualBox and whatnot for testing, and so I don't like VirtualBox. Obviously, you're gonna see me that I am a picky when it comes to my hypervisor. I'm gonna be choosing Hyper-V because I wanted to show you on that, but I eventually will switch it to Nutanix or some shape or some form. So, but anyways, so this is the device right now. It's running Windows 11. So we're gonna go ahead and actually restart it and then boot to the proper ISO, so we can actually install what we need to install, which is gonna be Server 2022. So give me a second and I will get that going. So I just plugged in the Windows Server 2022 ISO, and I'm gonna do shutdown -R, or just shut it down, basically restart it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start installation process. So restart it, and we're gonna hold F10 key to get to the boot menu. You can also click on F2 to confirm, you know, your BIOS settings if you wanted to. And I know this is restarting, but one thing I noticed about the restart on these things is that it's not super quick. So I'm just gonna restart it forcibly, especially with this one. It just takes a little bit longer to restart. And I want to get this going. I want to make this video under 10 minutes. That's the goal. So you can see boot back up. We're going to keep pressing F10 to get to it. I think we may have missed it. I don't see my F10 keys working. So it didn't work, unfortunately. So we're going to have to reboot it again. I think my wireless keyboard mouse decided to not work at that time. All right, let's try this again. It actually didn't shut it down right now. It doesn't like for us to shut it down because Intel doesn't want us to shut it down and put a server 2022, but we will do it. We are determined to do this. All right, it finally shut down. Let's try this again. We're pressing F10. It worked this time. Before I didn't press it long enough. So I'm gonna just go ahead and actually select the second USB. I think that's my Windows, which it is. And this is gonna go through the process, which is installing Server 2022. So I usually skip this on an older machines, but this Intel NUC is really fast, and I think it won't even. By the time I spend the time on skipping editing, this will just be easy to just go watch it. Really, it's really slow right now, mainly because I think I'm basically trying to get it to do something it doesn't like to do, but we will make it do it. Yes, trying to not let me click next on it. Intel is trying to stop me at all cost, but they can't do it. We are too powerful. Here is the activation. One thing I'll tell you is never activate your server on a trial machine like this machine. You literally don't know what's going to happen, especially if you're doing this for the first time. Don't activate it. If you have a key, save your key until you know you are certain that you're going to use a server. Here, when it comes to the server selection, always choose the data center, a desktop experience. Unless you love command line, don't choose otherwise. And I'm gonna go ahead agree with the EULA. If you don't do this, it's not gonna work. And always delete the partition clean. You don't want to have any remaining partition. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete every volume and make it clear as possible. And this one I have 2 terabytes, so one NVMe and one SSD. So I'm gonna install the OS on the NVMe. If I can identify which one is which, should have went to the BIOS, but don't matter. I'm just gonna delete it. I'm gonna install on disk 0 anyway. I think that's our NVMe. This is 0. So let's go ahead and hit next to install. Again, the Intel force is trying to stop us, which is natural, but we have done it. So now this is about, if you set your alerts or counter right now, this will not last more than 2 minutes. And I'm gonna do the timer. Okay, so So far, it's been about a minute, and we are done pretty much. Once it gets to 100%, the rest is simply done. So that's the experience that Intel NUC will give you. And you can see everything is going to get check marked, and that's it. So if this wasn't any other machine, we'll be sitting here for the next 30 minutes and wondering what's happening. But yeah, that's all we had to do. We literally installed the server OS in under 2 minutes. And obviously, we are using a nice device, very neat. It's using MVMe, and it is 12 Gen i7 processor. So it's got a lot going for it, but it's still a very beast machine. And I highly, highly recommend you use it for your lab or anything that you wanted to do because it is worth it. Analog keyboard and mouse is better now. So yeah, it could be the initial boot screen does not like wireless my equipment. So now we're gonna get the welcome screen, and I don't know if you saw if you already caught it or not, but there was no internet driver by default, and Intel won't give it to you. So in a lot of times, if you haven't done this before enough, you might be panicking. You're like, where is the driver? How can I get to the internet and do what I need to do? Well, the best way to do this is if you can go to another computer, go to the Intel website, type the device model, and then get the Ethernet adapter or controller. Once you get the Ethernet controller, then put it in the thumb drive like I did here, and then go to the thumb drive folder. I just named the Intel NUC 12 drivers, and then find the LAN driver. Here's the LAN Windows 11. It's actually for Windows 11, but we're gonna trick it to use it for Server 2022. And you can see the driver doesn't just have a simple install button because you have to do it your own way. So for this, we're gonna right click, go to properties. We're now gonna need to go to device manager, and then under device manager, we're gonna focus on Ethernet controller. We are going to click on, we're gonna right click. We are gonna go ahead and actually click on update driver. We're gonna click on browse my computer for driver, and then we are gonna click on where it says let me pick from a list of available drivers on my computer. It doesn't matter what you select here, you just hit next, and you are gonna say I have a disk. We do have a disk, and it's our USB thumb drive where we put the driver. We're gonna hit browse, and we're gonna click on the back arrow to get to our thumb drive. So you scroll down, here is my thumb drive on Windows ISO on it. We're gonna click on Intel NUC drivers, and we're gonna click on the LAN driver, and we're gonna click on this one, E2F. It's a lot of steps. I hope you got it. I tried to do it slowly, but if you need to go back to the video, pause it, do that, please. Hit open and click on OK. Now, from this point on, you are going to click on Intel R Ethernet controller to ALF 25M. I121225M LM. This is what you're going to click on. You're not going to click any of them. I haven't tested those, but I do know that this will work or should work for you. So you're going to hit next. We're going to hit yes, install. And that's how you get your driver going. And now you can see right away, we got the driver installed onto a server 2022. You have a doubt? You don't know, you don't think this is server 2022? You do your WinVer, and you're gonna get to see that this is server 2022, and this has the Intel network internal Ethernet controller driver, and it basically does everything you want it to do. And obviously there's other drivers that we're gonna install, but for now we're really concerned about that because that enables us to do getting updates, making this server ready for Hyper-V machines, and doing all the cool stuff that we plan to do. So yeah, it's really exciting. And I will say, if you want to see more of this video, come back for part two. Part two is going to be how we can install all the rest of the driver and make this into like almost like a desktop where we enable the audio controller, Bluetooth, install the Intel ARC, just like I showed you in the preview. So yeah, stay tuned for part two. Thank you. Bye bye.